Good evening all. On behalf of the IEEE Uttar Pradesh section and IEEE Young Professionals Uttar Pradesh section, I welcome you all in this program of Fiscal 2023 that is sponsored and supported by IEEE Region 10, IEEE Young Professionals Region 10 and IEEE Uttar Pradesh section. We are very fortunate that today we have a renowned academician, Professor Asheesh Kumar Singh, as an expert speaker for the lecture. The title of the today's lecture is Leadership and Essential Trait. Before starting the lecture, I would like to introduce Professor Asheesh Kumar Singh sir. Professor Asheesh Kumar Singh is a senior member of IEEE and is a professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering at Motilal Nehru Institute of Technology, MNNIT Allahabad Prayagraj. Presently, he is volunteering as Vice Chair Sections and Subsections at IEEE India Council. Since 1995, he has been on the academic staff of MNNIT Allahabad, India. His research interests include power system, power quality, smart grid, renewable energy integration, and e-mobility. He has published more than 100 research publications in the peer-reviewed international journals and conferences. Additionally, he has authored one book, 15 book chapters. He has also edited 2 books and organized several short-term faculty development programs focusing on the various power system issues. He has delivered 70+ lectures at various national and international forums. He has supervised 13 doctoral and 56 MTech theses. Also, he has procured over 1.5 crore in the research funding since 2015 from the various international and national funding agencies. He is a senior member of IEEE, a life member of the Indian Society for Technical Education ISTE, a life member of the System Society of India, and a fellow of the Institution of Engineers, India. His professional services are highlighted by his active participation in the IEEE activities. As an IEEE member of the IEEE Uttar Pradesh section, he has volunteered as Section Chair, IEEE Uttar Pradesh section in the year 2019 and 2020, Vice Chair, Section and Subsections, IEEE India Council in the year 2021 and 2022, Chair, IEEE Uttar Pradesh Section Power Electronics Society Chapter in the year 2022. Professor Asheesh Kumar Singh is a recipient of the Outstanding Engineer Award 2020 of the IEEE PES UP Section Chapter for his outstanding technical, professional, educational, and social contributions to the power engineering profession. With this, I welcome Professor Asheesh Kumar Singh, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Varunji. Thank you very much. Let me share my slides with you. Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. Is it visible to all?
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Okay. So, thank you, Dr. Varun, for giving me an opportunity to be present here in front of my fellow volunteers of IEEE and my other colleagues of this journey. So I'm thankful that for all the audience that they have spared their precious time to be here after a hectic day to listen me on this on the topic of leadership. I'm also thankful to section officials, especially Dr. Varun as a leader of this YP activity, that he is leading successfully the YP activity journey in the section and for other fellow volunteers, because this learning is a lifelong process, right? So we take it as a 3L, lifelong learning, as a different concept within IEEE and outside IEEE. So the topic which has been taken today, that is leadership. This is an essential thing for all the volunteers of IEEE, either they are student members or they are graduate student members or they are young professionals, and over and above up to the level of fellows. So we all know that this is a particular trait which is required for a successful journey as a professional in your life. And there are so many misconceptions also about the leadership, why it is required, when it is required, and can it be achieved or not. So we will try to cover all those things. Basically, when we see in our surrounding, we found that there are 3 types of people in this world. Number 1, those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and third is those who wonder what happened, right? So I will definitely not say you to characterize yourself where you are, but definitely I can say that in our surrounding, we have simply found such pupils in all 3 categories. So now our discussion is about the leadership. And if I say we must having a question in our mind that what is leadership? So in brief, I shall tell you, everybody talks about it, but few understand it. Most people want it, but few achieve it. So in this way, we can say that the leadership is influence. And in some words, we can also follow this quote by Georges Jesse, that leadership is the ability to obtain followers. It is on us up to what level we achieve it. It is on us up to what level we follow others, we take the good things to our followers. So if we say that what is leadership, definitely leadership is the ability of an individual or a group of people to influence and guide followers or members of an organization or society or a team. Leadership, often it is taken as an attribute tied to a personal title or seniority or ranking in a hierarchy. Yes, we all know that titles are also achieved by some efforts. So that is the only relationship of the leadership with the titles. Otherwise, leadership is nothing to do with the titles, nothing to do with the hierarchies. It can be achieved by anyone by leaving its footprints on the journey. It is an attribute anyone can have or attain, even those without leadership positions. Yes, please remember that it is a developable skill that can be improved over time. Leaders are found and required in most aspects of society, including business, politics, religion, and social and community-based organizations. It may be our family, it may be our society, it may be our larger setup of our living, such as a state or country. There are certain leaders which achieve global status also. Leaders are seen as people who make big and sometimes very difficult decisions, but they are mandatory to take to lead the society or the organization for a better and influential position. Leaders have to articulate a clear vision. They have to establish achievable goals and provide followers with the knowledge and tools necessary to achieve these goals. So this is a preamble about the leadership. And if I ask a question, or it may be a question from your side, where will we apply leadership skills? Right? So being an IEEE volunteer, I can say that IEEE is an ideal platform because its essence is leadership. Right? You may apply your leadership skills in your student branch, in your student branch society chapter, or at your section level as a chapter chair or some committee chair. You may apply it as a regional scale, as section chair of some specific section, or at a global scale in organizing some international conference, symposium, colloquium, and chairing it. It may also be helpful in your working as a president of some society, or even up to the level of president of IEEE. Because it is IEEE only which gives opportunity to each and every volunteer to go up to the position of the president of IEEE. So definitely this is an ideal platform for learning leadership, for application of leadership, for betterment of your followers or your juniors or your team members and your other colleagues in the organization. Also, if you are learning this leadership or achieving some attributes of it, you can definitely use it at your workplace also. And it definitely may make you a better leader and a better person at your workplace among your colleagues. So how this IEEE is giving you leadership opportunities? So if I say that IEEE is basically all the four letters of it, they basically represent inspire, enable, empower, and engage. Right? You may treat them as four corners, basic corners, or a beginning of leadership things by these four words. And definitely, IEEE provides us, who are the volunteers, they must be aware with this, that IEEE provides us with educational opportunities, networking opportunities, social opportunities, business opportunities, and career opportunities. And over and above, it is providing us leadership opportunities for all possible roles, as I just discussed before it. So we all request as a volunteer, as a on behalf of section, to all our volunteers participate. And their participation is a good opportunity to learn leadership and apply leadership and become a successful leader up to the top level of IEEE. And all these opportunities which this IEEE provides us teach us that the process of leading others to attain a goal is known as leadership. Leadership is a demanding and challenging quality for every professional to work effectively in their respective field. So, within IEEE, what are the opportunities? IEEE has a Center for Leadership Excellence, that is CLE. I have displayed the website for this CLE here for your knowledge. And there are so many tutorials and opportunities you will find here for starting your leadership journey or enjoying this journey. You can also participate in this volunteer development program known as VOLT. This is a volunteer leadership training program which is open every year for all the volunteers, and only few of them after a successful training are nominated as VOLT graduate. But definitely this journey of learning is really enjoying. So please, I invite you all to go through this volunteer VOLT program to apply. Then there are other benefits also where you can find it on the IEEE website in the section volunteer development. And all these opportunities are listed here. You can explore them which are suitable to you and move ahead. So this was the preamble of the talk today. And definitely for the today's agenda, we are going to talk about these points. What is leadership? What makes a good leader? Leadership versus management. Leaders versus managers. There is a very thin line, but definitely this line is quite identifiable, and we can identify, we can differentiate between leaders and managers. Then we will talk about some beliefs about the leadership, and we are giving it a name as leadership primer, and then we will try to conclude the today's discussion. The very purpose of selecting this title and giving on this, delivering it on this platform is to learn more about the concept of leadership, definitely make you enable to identify your own leadership potential, and to learn about developing your own skills to become an effective leader. I hope you will participate in this discussion. You will keep on raising your queries either in between or at the end of the lecture, and help me in delivering my successful talk so that it is going to be beneficial, and definitely at the end I can say, yes, I have motivated few of you. So we shall start. What is the concept of leadership? Or simply, what is leadership? So I will repeat again what I have said earlier, but in different words, that leadership is the ability to influence a group of people to accomplish a common goal, and to direct the team or organization or the group in a way so that it makes it more cohesive and coherent. That is the sole motive. And leadership is definitely a motivation for more cohesive and coherent working environment in the organization. Leadership is the ability of having a vision for a group to shape its goals. Leadership is taking the responsibility to improve the capacity of the group to achieve its goals. Leadership is taking responsibility to improve the structure, climate, and communication of that particular group or team. Leadership is influencing other members of the group to become a focused and productive team member or contributor. So this is the basic concept of leadership, to lead the team for its betterment or more advanced goals. Basically, everybody influences someone. We all have something special in us which attracts or forces someone else to discuss about us. It may be something positive in others' views. It may be something negative in others' views, right? But each of us, means if we talk about a set of two persons, we can say that each of us influences and is influenced by others. And in this way, we can say that every one of us is leader in some areas, and in others, we prefer to being led by someone else. But limitation is we never know who or how much we influence. And that is the motive of today's discussion. We shall be capable of identifying these two things. So if we say what is, as I told you earlier, leadership is what? It's influence, and it's a definitely a very mysterious thing. What is influence, right? And we cannot understand that this mysterious thing to which we call influence. But as I told you, that every one of us continually exerts some influence, and influence is a skill that can be developed. It is a cyclic nature. It is of a cyclic nature, or you can say, first we shall recognize it, then we shall establish an effective communication, and as a final stage, we start influencing someone else or start being influenced by someone else. So this is a set of three stages of recognition, effective communication, and influence. They are in cyclic order, and if they keep on moving, it increases our recognition, it increases our communication with more number of people, and day by day we become influential or being influenced by more number of persons. So in this way, leadership is achieved through interaction between leader and follower, and a necessary environment is a very must thing for developing this interaction between leader and follower. And it is the responsibility of the leader to establish, protect, and develop this environment in which he wants to become effective, in which he wants to become more useful for their followers. A leader does not always have to be the president or the elected leader. He may be an active leader of the group or someone who reaches out to help another person. So he may be chair of your student branch. He may be your mentor in your school. He may be a manager of your school team or something like that. He may be an active leader, and that is a mandatory thing, that his activeness is a constant source of motivation for his followers, and it becomes a reason for following the leader, right? So why a follower is following the leader? A follower is definitely an individual who follows the ideas, who follows the goals, who follows the tasks of a leader. You just see in your surrounding, and definitely you will identify your leader, who is your leader. Either you say it or not, but definitely you are in a position to identify it. So but a very important point to remember is, if there are no followers, then definitely there are no leaders. If roles are not clearly understood, the group or team will not operate or work effectively. In this way, the leadership is a combination of strategy and character. If any one of among these traits is missing, then it is not going to work. Either a strategy or a character. What makes leaders so great? So these are the traits, which few traits, not all. This list may not be a comprehensive list, right? But some common identified, achieved, or approved list of traits is here in front of you, and we can identify, are they sufficient to make leaders? So anyone or any combination of these all is, in my view, is sufficient to identify them as a leader. So they may have intelligence, some charisma, compassion, ambition, persistence, revolutionary spirit, means to ready to accept the change or ready to bring the change. That is ability to bring changes, energetic, always ready to do service to others. So these are the few characteristics which are always examined by the followers in their leaders. So you will have to keep in mind, for being a successful leader or a great leader, you have to own few of these or any one of these. What makes leaders so great? A leader is a person to whom others opt to follow. Why? Why they want to follow? Because through the leaders, they want to go to a journey to that place they would not have gone by themselves. Journey is not a physical journey. It may be journey of their plans, it may be journey of their thoughts, it may be journey of their vision or their expectations, right? I still remember that in my earlier days of career, when I was in industry, in a meeting of this HR, there was a manager who used to say that a leader is a person that tells you to go to hell, and the impact of leader shall be that high that you rush out to buy a first class one-way ticket to get there. That is leadership. It may not be that practical thing, that may not be that much advisable thing, but that is the impact of leader. That is the influence of leader. And that is why the very first statement was, what is leadership? Leadership is an influence. Leadership is not a one-day thing. It has to be developed in a certain period of time and to a level where your followers are going to follow you blindly. That is not advisable as a professional, but definitely for a leader, a good team to support him is very much essential. So what are the leader characteristics? As I told you in the last slide also, these are the few things which makes the leaders great. And on the basis of this, the leader characteristics Hello, is it connected?
Yes, it is connected, sir.
What makes great leaders? The very essence of leadership is that you have to have a vision. This vision is very important. Now, what is vision? That is very important. We will discuss it later. What makes great leaders? The leaders articulate the vision very clearly and forcefully on every occasion. They keep on delivering, keep on saying, or they keep on enforcing to understand or see or hear them on every occasion. And you must be remembering that the leaders set a vision for all the followers. There is a famous saying, very famous saying of Martin Luther King Jr. That single statement make him so popular. That was, "I have a dream." And that famous quote make him popular among his followers in that country. And the leader's vision must be communicated to the people who can make it happen. We all know that there was a very visionary and famous animation film producer named Walt Disney. His famous saying was, "If you can dream it, you can do it." Yes, we all know that. But how many of us have a dare to follow it? Have a patience, have a discipline to follow it and achieve it? So it is not only the vision, it is the pressure or influence of a leader who does not allow you to go away from his influence to achieve the things. That is also very essential. And this makes great leaders. A combination of various traits, not only the vision or single-handedly other characteristics. Oh. So we were talking about the vision. Conventional leaders conceive the vision and convince or influence the followers to adopt it. Exceptional leaders, that is the difference between conventional leaders and exceptional leaders. Exceptional leaders cultivate the emergence of a vision, right? And this is the basic difference between conventional leaders and exceptional leaders. Leaders may originate a vision, but it is the power of a group that discovers the vision and achieves that goal. This is a combination of, other we shall say, a very much required combination of leadership, vision, and his influence, of leaders' influence on the followers, right? So all these things are very much essential and they happen simultaneously. Next point is, why is change so hard? Because we are comfortable with our habits. Our habits keep us away from changing or accepting the change, right? But there is a word called insanity. And Albert Einstein gave a theory on it, that doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result, is insanity. He's a famous theory of it. You can find it, you can Google it and find it, right? But this particular thing applies on the leadership principle also. How it is possible that we are repeating the same thing again and again, but expecting a different result? No, it is not possible. If we want to get some new result or something better result, we can say, then definitely we will have to change. We will have to change our habits. We will have to change our practices. We will have to change our vision, and then we shall expect it. And definitely, a visionary leader is an essential leader for it, that they are willing to look the things, same things, but in a new way, in a novelty, right? And this is the reason that they are successful in bringing the change and implementing the change. The great change leaders focus on pupil and process both. And on the basis of the studies done in the past, the 3 C's of effective change leadership are identified as collaborate, communicate, and commit. Collaborate, communicate, and commit. If you go with that IEEE definition or 4-letter words I have explained, you will find that these 3 terms are very much in tune with those 4 words, right? So commit is willing to step outside the comfortable zone. That is the commitment which you have to follow to achieve the goals. Yes, the change is always difficult, but leaders who negotiated it successfully were resilient and persistent in their approach, in their influence with their followers. And that was the only reason that with their persistency and resilience, they could achieve that change. So this is the only reason why is change so hard and how to overcome it. Now we will talk about the critical actions to promote a shared vision, because we have identified till now that vision is an important part of this journey of leadership. So what are those critical actions? Those critical actions to promote a shared vision are: facilitate and encourage dialogue, means a successful communication among all stakeholders. Second is set an example. Third is you shall have and you shall be in a position to implement, write down your inspiring vision and disseminate it among your followers. Articulate and communicate the vision with passion, with some new zeal. Be considerate and encourage your followers. Whatever may be the difficulties they may discuss in adapting that, in getting that vision, it is the leader's responsibility that he or she shall encourage, motivate all the followers for achieving it. They must provide a structure to their followers, how they can make or enable it to achieve the vision. They must empower their followers, support their efforts and actions in achieving and moving that vision forward. They must influence the culture to embrace and align with the challenges, to bring changes, to get that vision, to be comfortable with new scenario and leaving the old situation, visions behind, because things are changing. In that way, visions must change with timeline, because whatever was the achievement or used to be treated as achievement in the last century, that is definitely not going to be achieved in the present scenario, and it is not going to be treated as achievement in next century. So please keep this thing in mind, that you must be armed with some new vision, with some new tools, with some new skills, and with some new leadership in future to achieve your vision. Now, the magic of a leader's vision. Now, what is vision? As I promised, I'm defining it now. Vision shows you what must be tomorrow, beyond what is today. That is vision. So, what is the role of vision? Vision inspires. Vision clarifies the scenario. Vision is a worthy commitment for a better tomorrow. And definitely, a successful vision generates supportive action of the followers. Now, how to identify that the vision given by the leader is a right vision? So definitely, a right vision attracts commitment and energizes people. The right vision creates meaning in the follower's life. It establishes a feel of excellence. A right vision bridges the present and the future beautifully and successfully. That is this. And that is the mark, that is a characteristic for a right vision. Clear? So this is the magic of leader's vision and how to identify it. Now, what are the factors of leadership? So these are the 4 factors of leadership, that is follower, leader, communication, a successful communication, and situation. So if we talk about the first one, that is follower, so the very essential thing for leadership is the knowing your followers. Different followers require different styles of leadership, and you must have an adaptation for understanding the human nature, because as they are different, they may have different needs, they may have different emotions, and that is the reason they need some different motivation for a single vision. Now, second factor is leader. You will have to understand about you very honestly, such as who you are. Number 2, what you know. Number 3, what you can do. Please do not forget that the followers, not the leader. Followers determine if the leader is successful or not. So if you are not able to answer these questions honestly within you, then definitely your followers are going to identify those things, and this difference in your image and in actually what you are, that is not going to be adjusted by them, and you are going to lose your position. So be very honest about what you are, what you know, and what you can do. To be successful, you have to convince your followers that you are worthy of being followed. So again, the same point comes back. Who determines a successful leader? The followers determine a successful leader, not the leader. He may claim something, but his claims must be verified and established by the followers. Third, communication. A leader must be capable of establishing or leading a two-way communication. The way in which you communicate, what you communicate, how you communicate, can make or break your relationships with your followers. So that is your responsibility as a leader to establish a successful communication, a two-way communication. Just a minute. Then comes the situation. Use judgment to decide the course of action. You have to apply your leadership styles differently, as I told you earlier in the point 1. For different situations, your leadership styles shall be different. One formula is not fit for all situations, right? So you must be capable of identifying the situation's intensity, and you must be capable of switching successfully between your styles. That is important. So these are few points to remember, my friends. These are the factors of leadership which you will have to learn, which you will have to practice for being a good leader. What makes good leaders? Good leaders apply their leadership attributes, their belief, their values, ethics, character, knowledge, and skills. On the basis of these traits or attributes, your followers are continuously evaluating you. So you will have to be very much clear in showing these attributes as a leader. Your followers must be capable of trusting you. They must be very much sure about your values, ethics, and character. They must be confident about your knowledge and skills. And finally, they must have a trust that you are capable to lead them. Always remember that to respect you as a leader, a follower observes what you do so that he can know who you really are. A respected leader focuses on what he or she is, right? So this is connected with that beliefs and character of the leader. What he or she knows, that is connected with job tasks or human nature of the leader. What he or she does, and this is related with how much our leader is capable of implementing, motivating, or providing directions to its followers. So in this way, this is the combination of few things which are, or which a good leader must have in himself, and he or she shall be capable of showing them time to time. Now, what good leaders don't do, right? That is also very important, because there shall be a list which shall be, well, for which the leader shall be very careful. It is not to be done by them. They shall not compete with their own people. They shall not treat their team as a lousy team. They shall not place popularity ahead of their effectiveness. They shall not sacrifice the means for the end, because sustainability is a very important thing. They shall not create a future that enables self-preservation only for leaders. There shall be space for each and every follower who is in their influence. So, leader must think of everyone. Leader shall not sacrifice the team to prove his point, because team is the only mean to achieve that goal, right? So if a leader is going to sacrifice his team to prove a point, then definitely he will not remain in a position to achieve the point. Clear? The target shall be the end result. Target shall be the final destination, not the journey in between. So these are the few points which I found that they shall not be done by the good leaders. Now, there are certain leaders or few leaders who fail. Who fail? Who are intimidating in nature, who are cold and arrogant, untrustworthy, self-centered, who are performers, unable to delegate, and definitely who are not the good practitioner of good people and relationship skills. If they are lacking in these things, then definitely these leaders, even they have achieved the leadership by any means, they are going to fail. They are not going to be popular leaders. They may be popular just because they may be leader, they may remain leader for some time just because of their fear or some any other parameter, but not as a successful and acceptable leaders. Okay. Then comes the difference between leadership versus management. So, management is basically the act, or you can say art also, is art of conducting or supervising the something to achieve the target. Okay, not the goal, target. And managers are responsible for judicious use of means to accomplish a task, right? They may be part of, they may include this planning and budgeting. They may include this organizing and staffing. But definitely, whatever we have discussed till now, it can clearly differentiate this from leadership. So, we can say that leadership is a capacity to guide on the way, to direct towards the a target or in a direction of achieving the targets, to direct the operation or a successful performance. So this is not as planning and budgeting, organizing and staffing like management. We may take it as setting a direction. We may take it as motivating and inspiring. So in this way, these two terms, they are different. If we go in a detailed discussion between these two aspects, we can say that leaders create a new order, but managers maintain existing orders. So this is a difference. Leaders innovate. Managers are adaptive and administrative. Leaders focus on people or their followers, but managers focus on systems and structures. Leaders inspire trust. Managers rely on hierarchy or given authority. So here comes a new point, that leaders may have a long range view and managers definitely have a short range view for achieving the targets only. Right? Leaders are opportunity focused to bring the new opportunity for their followers, but managers are resource focused Means you shall achieve this target with these much resources, right? And if you are using lesser resources, they will give you a tag that you are an efficient worker. But leaders never focus on the resources. They focus on the new opportunities, which may be resource intensive, but in future, they may be more beneficial for their followers. So in this way, we can summarize that leaders originate, leaders innovate, whereas managers simply initiate and guide in achieving the targets with given resources only. So this is the difference between management and leadership. But if I say you that what is the practical example? So there is one very successful example which can differentiate between the management and leadership. That is, suppose you are having a horse, right? And you are assigned a task to give him water for drinking, right? So you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. That is management. Means fulfill the given task. Either the final target is achieved or not. But leadership is you will motivate the horse to drink water, right? So before that, you will have to make sure that the horse is thirsty. And definitely, when the horse is thirsty and you are taking him to water, right, he will definitely drink the water, right? And this is the difference between management and leadership. And that is motivation of the leaders. This is a very successful example for differentiating between leadership and management. These are the 5 levels of leadership, as I told you. And number 1 is position. Number 2 is permission. Number 3 is production. Number 4 is pupil development. And number 5 is personhood, right? So position can be given as entry level of leadership, influence gained by title only. So people who have achieved some position, they want to control by authority of position. But that is not real leadership. Real leadership is more than authority. Real leadership is being the persons others will confidently follow. They are comfortable in following you. They are not being enforced by you to follow them. That is the difference of the position. And this is the first level of leadership, right? They are ready to follow you without being affected by, without being feared by your position, right? Second is permission. It is the foundation of leadership. Leadership is getting people to work for you when they are not obligated. You call them, they are ready to work for you. That is the influence. They are not fearing because of any force, due to any force, and without it, they are ready to work for you. Because people don't care how much you know until they have a belief or they know at how much you care. So always remember that the leadership starts with the heart, not the head. And the people who are unable to bring this develop a solid and lasting relationship with their followers, they are unable to sustain effective leadership. This connect is very important. There is a famous saying of J.C. Maxwell that you can love people without leading them, but you cannot lead people without loving them. Your followers must know that you love them, you care them, right? And that is the reason they will come behind you, they will follow you. Third is production. And this production is the result level. When the things are started happening, and everyone has a feel that yes, goals are started or they are being achieved, and definitely that becomes a sufficient reason to make the morale high, right? So it is very important that every member of the team, every follower, everyone shall be result oriented. And results are the main motive for the activity, whatever they are being involved. And that is the main purpose for which they are being organized, they are being influenced. So the production may be in terms of any activity, it may be some political activity, it may be some moral activity, it may be some game activity, or it may be a production activity of a company, production company, right? So this is the third, production. The fourth level of leadership is pupil development. This pupil development is the loyalty level. As I told you earlier also, but now I will present that with some different aspect. The same thing, that a leader is great not because of his own power. A leader is great because of his ability to empower others. That is important, right? So loyalty to the leader reaches its highest peak when the follower has personally grown through his mentor, right? He feels, yes, I'm achieving something through my mentor, through my leader, right? So what happens? In next level or level 2, the follower loves the leader. At level 3, in production level, the follower admires the leader, right? But in this level 4, the follower is loyal to the leader because of its personal development achieved. He is directly connected with his leaders and he is obliged for the position achieved by the follower or the benefits realized by the follower. Yes, this is the benefit which as a person I have achieved. They are not monetary, but they are in feeling. They are feeling something rich within inside. So this is pupil development. Now, the fifth is personhood. This is a very important stage, the final level of leadership, that only a lifetime of proven leadership will allow us to attain this level 5 and reap the rewards that are eternally satisfied by the leader. Up to 4, it was the achievement by or the benefits achieved by the followers, but the 5th is the satisfaction level achieved by the leader itself. So in this way, this cycle of leadership has these different 5 levels of leadership. Or if we want to present in some different way, then this level 1 of position, that indicates rights. People follow because they have to. Second is permission. That leads to relationship. People follow because they want to. Level 3 is results related to production. People follow because of what you have done for the organization or for the team or for the society to which the followers belong. Level 4, that is pupil development, that is reproduction. People are achieving, followers are achieving, and they follow because what you have done for them, they are obliged, they start feeling obliged, and that is the reason for the following, that is the achievement of following what they personally feel. And this personhood, that is the stage of respect. People follow because who you are and what you represent, they accept that, right? They do not have any doubt on that. And in this way, these are the 5 levels of leadership which are directly connected by directly connected to the trust or feelings of the followers for their leadership. So what happens? As a leader, the higher you go, the longer it takes. Your commitment, they are also higher. It becomes easier for you to lead them. And as a growth, it is the highest point where you can lead your team without any hurdle towards the growth. But it is your responsibility that you shall be responsible in taking care of each and every level of your followers. You shall never leave the grassroots level. If you are leading a group of people, you will not be on the same level with all. But to remain an effective leader, you must take the help of other influencers within the group with you to higher levels. And that is the basic reason which we follow in IEEE, that we keep on developing new leaders among us, right? It ensures, IEEE ensures as a policy that if you are a follower, then definitely after some point of time, you must be ready to take the responsibility of the leader. So that for some, you are the followers, but for the remaining set of people or the newcomers, you are the leader, right? And so that the mission and vision of the IEEE keeps on moving. Now, there are some leadership beliefs, which you can say them as a notion also, right? I will try to discuss some beliefs or notions with you. That the very first notion which is related to leadership is that as a leader, when you are leading a group or team, you cannot make happy to all, right? Because leadership needs some tough decisions. Leadership needs some decisions which may not be acceptable by others initially. because they are not ready to accept the change. And as a leader, it is your responsibility to bring the changes. So it may have a conflict with their comfort zone, right? So some people may be angry with you or they may be uncomfortable. So it is the responsibility of the leader that he must target the welfare of the group rather than the welfare of a or the opposition of a individual. We have to sacrifice individual for the groups, right? And if you are not doing so, then you will definitely, as a leader, you will avoid tough decisions. You will always be confronting those who need to be confronted. You will avoid offering differential rewards based on the differential performances, right? And what you will lose in this process, you will definitely end up getting some negative popularity, or you may angering those persons. You will have to face the anger of most creative and productive people in the organization. So that's why it is said that a leader must realize that he has a responsibility to the welfare of the group, not an individual. Second belief. Next belief is the day people stop bringing you their problems. Who people? Your followers. If your followers stop bringing their problems to you, you must understand that you have stopped leading them. Right? This is a very important point. If your followers are not coming to you for the solutions of their problems, it means they have either lost confidence that you can help them, or they have concluded that you don't care. And in both the scenarios, this is a leadership failure. So be careful, be involved in the happiness and difficult times of your followers, both. Be careful about them. Real leaders create an environment where the problem analysis by all stakeholders replaces the blame, right? Even if you are not capable of handling their problems as per the desired results by them, right? You can involve them in the analysis of the problem. And they shall realize, yes, it was not possible. They were trying to expect an impossible situation from you to solve, right? So you must involve them in the process and always try to be available to them, always try to be careful about them. Next, don't be dazzled by experts. Never bother about them, right? Because experts are having more data than the judgment, right? They are basically the person who has made all the mistakes that can be made in a very narrow field. But for a leader, a field can never be narrow, right? A leader is for a larger group. A leader is for a larger community. Means the field is always wider than any expert, right? So try to be available, try to solve the problems. Yes, you may be successful in that, you may not be successful in that. But if you are involving your followers then definitely you are not going to lose them, right? But if you are following an expert's advice, no, it is not possible. So definitely you are not participating in the solution expected by the followers. So please try to avoid the, don't be dazzled by the expert's views. Be involved with your following. Next, don't be afraid of the challenges, right? If you are learning from the things, if you are going to observe the successful professionals, seek them as mentors and partners, that is good. But be careful. Remember that even the professionals may have leveled out in terms of their learning and skills. Professionals are up to this level, second level, third level. There are different levels of professionals, right? And if that professional in your team is a yes man working for you, always remember that one of you is redundant, right? Definitely, he is a person who will stop the situations, who will lower down the situations for you to develop as a good leader for a longer period, for a longer gentry, right? So these are the few notions of the leadership. There are so many, right? And but it is not. We are not having sufficient time. One more notion I can remember that there are some rules for picking people in your team as a leader. Look for intelligence and judgment. Most critically, a capacity to anticipate. Means the capacity to anticipate will be helpful in bringing the successful or new visions, right? When you are identifying a team member, you shall look for loyalty, integrity, high energy, and definitely a man with a balanced ego, not a biased ego, right? And remember, if you are taking care at the recruitment level, then definitely your journey for leadership is going to be easier. Good leaders stack the team in their favor right in the recruitment phase so that the problems are not much during the journey and the focus of the journey is towards achieving the goals, not the internal problem solving. One more notion which I can recall right now, that is simplification. Means leaders shall be great simplifiers. They shall be capable of simplifying the things. They shall be capable of cutting through the arguments and debate and doubt, right? So a simple solution is always having no space for debate and doubt, and it is easy to understand for all. And when everyone is understanding that, then the persons who want to create some doubt or debate, they are not having been acceptance by the other followers. And the result, the clarity of purpose, credibility of leadership, and definitely this will establish an integrity in the organization. One more notion is that that is the rule of 40-70. That is a very important role. This 40-70, we call it as a formula that where this suppose we can assume a number P, right? And this P stands for this probability of success, right? And the number, this 40-70, that indicates it indicates the percentage of information you have in your possession, right? So once the you can say by this 40-70 rule, if you are having this information less than 40% chance of being right, then you shall not take any action. But if you are having something more than 70, then you shall not wait for the 100% surety. You shall start taking actions on the basis of your vision, on the basis of your anticipation. Because if you are going to wait for 100% information, then definitely you are going to be late in achieving the things, right? And technically, this information gathering process delays or excessive delays in the process of this gathering information, they are treated as analysis paralysis, right? There is a term for it, that is analysis paralysis. So we all must refrain from this, and we shall try to use this 40-70 formula in achieving success as leader. Because things at right things at right time. That is the expectation from all of us, by all of us. So these are the few notions. Now we will talk about this price of leadership, right? What is the price of leadership? Because leader is one, right? So quite often he may feel lonely also, right? And if the expected results are not coming, then he may also, being a human, may feel anger and disappointment, right? But a leader is a limitation of not disclosing it to its followers. And if he is going to disclose his anger and disappointment, then definitely it may cause some doubt among the followers, right? So this is also a price. You will have to bear all those negative things solely by you. If we see the past, we can see the example. We can take the example of Gandhi. We can take the example of Christ, Mandela, Martin Luther King, right? So we can conclude that often the price is deeply personal, right? So these are the few prices of leadership. A leadership must give up to go up, right? And it is also said that the true nature of leadership is sacrifice. That is the price of leadership. Now, we must also discuss about leadership misconceptions. The very basic misconception is leaders are born. They cannot be made. No, it is not like that, right? Leadership is a trait which can be developed and achieved up to the excellence by practicing with time. Leadership comes from positions in the group. No, it can be achieved without any position. There are your friends in your group who are not having any position, but still you go to them for the solutions of your problems. Yes, they are the leaders without any position. And you trust them for solving your problems. Leaders make all decisions for the group. No, leaders have their vision, but that they prefer to incorporate the benefit of the group, not the individual. That's why whenever they are taking some decision, definitely this is inclusive of benefit of the group, not of the individual. All leaders are popular and charismatic. No. Sometimes the leaders are not very popular. I can give an example of the leader of North Korea. I will not say anything further, but I think my example is sufficient to suffice this point. Leadership is power. No, leadership is not power. Leadership is a journey. Leadership is a trust which your followers have on you. And always remember, if you are going to lose their trust, they are not going to treat you as a leader. So it is not power, it is service. It is your love. It is your care for your team and for your followers. And the final misconception, leadership is management. No, they are clearly very different. And I have explained that to you with some clear distinction points on what points or how we can differentiate leadership from management. Then, in summary, we can conclude that we are all leaders for someone, right? We all have followers. They may be limited in number, but we are leaders. If we are influencing someone, small or big, we are leaders. Leaders need to know themselves, know how to lead yourself to successfully lead others is very important. The best leaders empower others to lead. Yes, there may be hierarchies to stay, but these are the leaders who empower to lead. Leaders must be clearer or very clear. Clarity leads the confidence. Simplification leads the confidence. And confident people are effective. Always remember that. So you shall be very much capable of making things simpler for your followers or making things clearer for your followers. Leaders are compelled by the future, as the leaders have a vision of betterment and must find ways to share it with others, their followers. So in this way, this is a point which I want to conclude, that all of you have a capacity of being a leader. And how you can develop it, you can practice it in as a capacity of your IEEE activities wherever you are involved. If you are not involved, I invite you to participate and getting involved. Suppose you are an IEEE volunteer working in a section or an affinity group like Young Professional or Y or something else, or volunteering at a conference. You will come into contact with a variety of people from various backgrounds. Your leadership skills will help in forming a strong networking and bonding with those in your surrounding, right? And definitely these new bondings, new connections, new opportunities of networking will help you become a more effective leader in future. As a volunteer and leader for IEEE, I firmly believe that IEEE provides a platform for developing and nurturing leadership qualities. Students can network. Students can network and engage with like-minded people by participating in various volunteer initiatives which are taking place within IEEE platform on regular basis. They can learn from one another by sharing their perspective and values in both roles, as an individual or as a team. Each team requires leadership, and leadership demand intelligent competencies to lead the group, to carry out the work, and to improve the world as a whole. We can strongly support IEEE theme of advancing technology for humanity with an intelligent leader demonstrating our roles, our effectiveness in achieving the vision and mission of IEEE. So please participate. Please join us in IEEE activities and start your journey. Identify your potential of leadership. Thank you very much. Now, I'm open for questions if you have any.
Any question from the participants? So the administrator will be in the leader's line or in the managerial line?
Pardon?
Administrator.
Mm-hmm.
So will they be the leaders or managers?
Administrators are definitely managers because they are working for a target, right? Because they are offered that role to lead, right? Sometimes what happens, they are not being accepted by the followers and the leaders. And here comes the difference, that administrator is having a role in hierarchy at the top, and that's why he is having this responsibility to get and achieve the target, right? In administrator roles, there may be vision or there may not be a vision. And that is the difference from a leader.
Okay, sir. Any other question from the participants?
Excuse me, sir. Very good evening, sir.
जी नमस्कार.
नमस्ते सर. सर मैं ये पूछ रही थी कि would it be if I am saying leadership having quality of contradictory, I mean, like, is this behavior will be good for a leader, a good leader, contradictory leadership behavior?
Contradictory means conflict of interest.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain this contradictory? Basically, if you are talking about the conflict of interest, right?
Yes.
So this conflict of interest shall be avoided in each and every role and every position. Okay. This shall never be acceptable. As per the policies of the government policies or the organizational policies, it is always highlighted that we shall avoid the conflict of interest. So that is never acceptable.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Varun ji?
Yes, sir.
Any other question?
Any other question from the participants? Sir, I think there is no more question from the participants.
So can I say thank you now?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
No, let me say thank you. In the last, that is the last slide, I'm showing that. Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. So once again, on behalf of the Okay. Once again, on behalf of the IEEE Uttar Pradesh section and IIM professionals, PUP section, I thank Professor Asheesh Kumar Singh very much for this insightful lecture on the leadership. I think this lecture would motivate all of us to be the real leader. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. May I leave? Varunji, may I leave?